Hey everyone.
Hey guys, welcome back to Yapville, episode 23.
23.
We're so close to 6 months.
Oh my god, hey sisters.
Hey sisters, we're your hosts, Taryn
And Amanda.
my queen.
Don't mind if anyone's watching this, the visual, don't mind them chewing on like a fucking dog toy because I'm trying to quit vaping and it's helping me, okay?
Yeah, Amanda got her
Dog toys.
dog toy vape.
It's just something I could suck air through that makes me feel like I'm vaping, but I'm actually not.
Amanda, we're all cheering you on to get you off vaping.
I'm totally going to pick a vape up at the end of this, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Just push through, girl.
So, how have you been? It's been a while since I've seen you.
I know, it's been 2 weeks since we filmed. This past week has just been insane with, well, I guess we have to go over the last 2 weeks, but with the time change, kicked my ass.
Same.
I had such a busy fucking week. I had a really busy week at work, and then I had my other job, and then one night I had to do my taxes, and I owe $2,300 to the federal government, and that took 2.5 hours. And the other night I had to work really late for work because you got to work a late shift once every 2 months where I work, and I just couldn't sleep because of the change.
Yeah, the time change
exhausted.
Sucked. Usually I can handle it, but this time it was, I don't know, something about it just fucked me up real bad.
Last weekend, I finally watched Heretic. Girl, why didn't you tell me to go watch it in theaters? That movie was amazing.
It was good.
Yeah, I feel like everyone I know was like, it's good, but oh god, I loved it. It was so fucking good. Everyone watch Heretic.
I liked it. I hate movies where they end and I'm like, that's it.
That was my Letterboxd post.
What?
My Letterboxd review says,
Your letterbox?
my Letterboxd review says, this movie has everything I want. It has Sophia Thatcher, questions religion. It has a twist. But I need closure.
Yeah, absolutely. I hate movies that are like
Cliffhanger.
but I think all movies end like that lately because they always want to leave an opening for like a second one if it does well.
I hope there's a second one. So I ended up watching it again the next night. I went to Dylan's. Me, him, and Will watched it. And I just love watching scary movies with them. We've never really watched scary movies before. And never realized we're all like into watching scary movies.
That's amazing.
And we just all sit on the couch on top of each other.
But you have to explain what happened today.
Yeah,
kind of
so spoiler alerts kind of for Heretics. So basically these two girls are Mormons and they're going door to door and they get to this guy's door and the man has them come in. Guys, it's such a good movie.
Was it Hugh Grant?
Yeah.
He's never played like a creepy guy before, but he did a really good job. He was creepy.
It's such a good movie. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to spoil anything because I want everyone to experience this movie. It's on HBO, I think.
I think it's on HBO right now, yeah.
Oh, I was so fucking happy when I saw it. Now I'm waiting for The Substance and Companion to come out because I'm way too cheap. Companion, why is it $20 to rent? I thought it would be $5.
I need Companion. I still haven't watched it.
So, I'm like so anti-religion. I think all religion is a cult.
It's all evil.
I feel like I respect Buddhism, even though I don't know much about it because they seem peaceful, but everything else is a fucking cult. So, today, never in my life have I ever had Jehovah's Witnesses knock on my door, at least not while I'm home. So our sound bar broke, unfortunately. I'm standing at my TV, which is next to my front door, trying to fiddle with the sound bar, fix it, and I hear a knock at my door. And I'm an anxious girl, so I'm like, who's at my door? And I can see shadows between my door and my curtain. And I look at my Ring bell camera on my phone, and it's I'm like, oh my god, it's Jehovah's Witnesses. So I pull my curtain back and I was like, hi. And they were like, hi. And the guy just flips his pamphlet. He's like, we wanted to see if you had a moment to talk about Jesus Christ. And I go, we're not religious. I'm sorry. Have a good day. Because his face was so cute and kind. I couldn't be mean and I wanted to. And Colin was like, well, it's better that you weren't mean because then they're just going to think more into the anti-religion stereotype and think that we're all assholes.
Yeah, true.
I was like, that's a good point. But I thought it was kind of ironic that I finally watched Heretic and a week later...
Crazy.
They're not Mormon, I don't think. But maybe they were Mormons. I thought they were Jehovah's Witnesses. Stop going fucking knocking door to door to get people to join your cult.
What is this, 1952? I thought people didn't do that anymore.
Oh no, girl, they do it still. We actually, when we bought this house, we had to sign up for the no solicitor thing. Clearly, I think maybe they can still come to your door.
Nothing like that happens at my house. Thank
Girl,
God.
anybody who buys a house, you're gonna get so many letters from these
the
fake
letters.
people trying to like be like, you owe $200 to see your deed.
Oh yeah.
And the
or like
people knocking at your door.
Your home insurance policy is ending.
Yeah. Oh, we got this one guy.
That actually got me once. I called the number.
Oh, at least you didn't pay anything.
This is I refinanced my house and I was like, wait, what? So I called it and they're like, you need to send us $500. I'm like, I don't know if this is real.
We had, when we first bought the house, I think we had just gotten curtains up finally, or blinds. And this guy knocked on our door at 9 p.m. saying he was with ADP security. It was horrifying.
What the fuck?
I watched another good movie this past week. Well, do you have any good movies you want to talk about before?
I watched The Last Showgirl. My friend has been begging me to watch it with him, so I watched it last night. It's with Pamela Anderson. It was actually really cute, and I almost cried. And I just love Pamela Anderson so much.
Yeah, she's
such a queen. Pamela Anderson's in it, and so is Brenda Song. You know, London from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Macaulay Culkin's baby mama.
Yes, I love them together. They're so cute.
I love Macaulay Culkin.
It was good. I literally have not been in my movie watching era lately. I really need to start, but I have been watching. Highly recommend everyone listening to watch Invincible. It's like a cartoon. It's like animated. It's not like a cartoon, but it's a superhero show. Edwin got me into it, and I was like, yeah, I'll watch this with you. It's fucking amazing. Yeah. I love it so much. That's it.
Of course, I told everybody I'm close with to watch Heretic, and my friend Molly watched it, and she said that it reminded her of the movie Barbarian.
I love Barbarian.
So I watched Barbarian, and I don't think I feel like I've heard it randomly, but for some reason I thought it was like a movie from the 90s, and I wouldn't want to see it, but it actually came out in 2022. And
I love that movie.
I watched it down here alone at night in my living room.
Scary.
At 11 o'clock. I was like, I want to see this so bad. I'm just going to start it. And I fast forwarded through half of the movie.
Why? Because you're scared?
Because I was scared. But I'm going to go to Dylan's tonight and we're going to watch it.
Good. I love Bill Skarsgård. I love Justin Long.
Oh, I love... One of my favorite movies of all time is...
Jeepers Creepers?
Yes. And I already know... I want to watch the full movie, then do my review, but I'm going to mention how... Why does Justin Long fall down all these holes in all these movies?
I love Barbarian.
Guys,
I've seen that so many times.
It had a twist. I'm a psychological thriller girly. I don't know if that was a psychological thriller, but it had a twist.
Yeah, but the thing about Barbarian was that you had no idea where it was going.
It made you think like it was going in one direction, and it was
not at all.
Oh my god!
At least you watched the whole thing. It's fucked up.
I mean, I did watch the whole thing, but I fast forwarded a lot of parts. But I still know what happened. I mean, I watched the ending. It was fucked up that the cops didn't help her, and they just thought she was some druggie.
I mean, yeah, she kind of looked like she was just like going crazy. Did you see? First of all,
well, spoiler alerts for Barbarian.
First of all, if I pulled up at that Airbnb and I was in that neighborhood, or like,
well, it was too dark for her to really see the neighborhood.
It was insane. Every house on that road.
Back the next day.
No, every house on that road was like falling apart. That house was like the only house that looked normal, and like they're like, don't go outside at night. I'm like, I'm not going here.
Oh, I'd have begged him to leave with me.
I would not want to be in there alone, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, me either. And when she gets back from her meeting and she's going into the house and that guy comes running behind her. Yeah. First of all, one of my biggest fears ever. But why would you not go back into the car?
Right. I know.
She ran towards... She was closer to the car when she realized he was...
I don't know, but I thought it was so funny that you texted me and Nikki, like, can we say Bill Skarsgård is cute? I'm like, yes, we can. We all agree.
He seemed like a creep in the beginning of the movie. So I was just like, oh, what direction is this going? Am I allowed to have a crush on him?
We all love Bill Skarsgård.
I love a weird looking guy.
Me too. And he's not even that weird looking. He was Pennywise. And
yeah, I think that sticks with me.
He has that, like, those eyes, you know, they're kind of like Steve Buscemi.
Yes, the Steve Buscemi eyes.
But he's adorable. I like him.
Another kind of funny thing that happened last weekend. So I had texted my group chat with my boyfriend Colin and my best friends Will and Dylan, and I go, guys, would you want to go to? Say, guys, do you want to go to Providencetown, Rhode Island this summer?
Provincetown?
No, I said Providencetown, Rhode Island, the gay place.
Okay.
And they didn't really say anything because it was over text message. They're like, yeah, sure. So then when I was with them in person, I'm like, guys, are we going to plan our trip to Providencetown, Rhode Island? And they're like, there's like a Providence Providence, Rhode Island and a Provincetown, Massachusetts, right? And I go, what? I thought they were the same place.
Listen, I'm not the person to think this is funny because I didn't even know there was a place in Rhode Island. I only know the one in Massachusetts.
So when everyone goes to this gay town, Provincetown, I always thought they were in Providence, Rhode Island.
No, I only knew about the Massachusetts one.
It was funny in the moment. I was crying, laughing.
I had to tell you guys about a terrible, terrible thing that happened to me. It was 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago. I bought a coffee table off of Amazon, just a cheap one. I mean, it was $120. It wasn't that cheap, but it lifts up like this. Mm-hmm. And I was like, let me put this together. It was the heaviest fucking box ever. It took me
4 hours.
It took me so long. Edwin had gotten home, which he gets out of work at like 8. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it was almost done. I just needed help like flipping it on its side and working on it. As soon as we touched it, it fell apart like Legos. I was like, okay, let's just put it back together and we'll try again. So we put it back together. We went like this, like we like shifted it slightly, fell apart like Legos.
Oh my God.
I said, I'm fucking returning this. Fuck that. Oh man, I was so mad. I wasted my entire night. It was like 9 o'clock. I was literally in tears.
Oh, I would be too. It's so frustrating. Building furniture is the worst.
I was in tears. I wasted my entire night building a cheap fucking Amazon table that wouldn't stay together. And I worked in a few hours because, I had to go to bed to go to work in a few hours. It was so sad. So I'm returning it. Fuck that.
We have a kitchen island that we got from Amazon, and the corner of it is fucked up and part of it's cracked. And they wouldn't you could return it, but it was going to be like $100 to ship back. So I was like, really? It's not that bad. So it was really bothering Colin. He didn't even want to start building it, but I'm like, let's just build it. It's fine. It works. The corner, no one's ever going to notice. And I ended up messaging them because I'm a little scammer. And I sent them pictures and they gave me a $50 gift card to Amazon.
Well, hopefully it's not $100 to return back because I am going to return it and I'm just going to spend an extra $100 and go to like Old Brick and get like a nice one. Did you got this at Old Brick?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Putting together furniture is so frustrating. And if you go and get this coffee table, it's put together.
I know. That's why I want to do it really bad.
What else happened this week? I feel like a million things happened. I just can't think of anything.
The Oscars happened.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to the Oscars.
But Wicked didn't win anything. They won a few things, but not like Nora won like best movie, which
I still need to see that too.
Really good. Love that
Not
movie.
Scary though, right?
No, it's fucked up though.
Okay.
There was a letterbox review that said it's like Cinderella story for girls on SSRIs.
Oh, love that. All right, should we get into our stories?
I guess we should. All right. I'm going to read my first story coming from Am I the Asshole from 8 months ago, and it's titled, Am I the Asshole for telling my girlfriend she needs to get a real job and she will never be a famous comedian? 31 male and my girlfriend is 28. Her and I have been together for 6 years and have been living together for the last 2. Going to attempt to keep this short, so please ask for details if I leave something out. Girlfriend has always enjoyed doing comedy and has done open mic nights since we met shortly after college. She had a real sales job though. That was her Monday through Friday 9-to-5 job where she made decent money. I have a good but hard job and make almost triple what my girlfriend was making when she had her job. I said had because last August she quit her job because it was taking away from her comedy ventures. She told me a year from now she thinks she could really make it. I was a bit skeptical, but since I make enough to support us, I encouraged her because I want to be a supportive boyfriend. Since she quit her job, she began doing Uber and DoorDash, which is where she makes 100% of her money. Her comedy has gotten us $0. Over the past few months, I started to resent her though. She constantly complains she has no money, yet drives her Uber or DoorDash maybe 3 times a week, for maybe 4 hours at a time. I have been paying a lot more for household expenses, and I'm not saving as much as I'd like to anymore. She sleeps till noon because sometimes her open mics run late before she even gets to perform. And when she gets up, she just bums around on TikTok and YouTube looking for inspiration. She also gets very moody with me if I don't come to 90% of her open mic performances. Even after working a 14-hour day, she will get mad if I don't go to her open mic at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. Last night, I did the unthinkable. I asked her to consider going back to a full-time job. I said she should still do her comedy, but I'm struggling with taking care of our expenses all by myself. When she gave a dismissive answer, I told her firmly that she will never be a famous comedian. I said she's 28 and it's time to grow the fuck up and join the real world because this is totally unfair to me that I bust my ass as she lives in La La Land, and that she can't be this naive at this age by thinking she's going to support herself with this. She stared at me in silence for a few minutes, started to cry, and went to stay with a friend. She called me a fucking dickhead asshole, and I'm the worst friend ever. She has not answered her phone yet today.
Friend or boyfriend?
Yeah, maybe he meant to say boyfriend, but it definitely says friend. She has not answered her phone yet today, so am I a fucking dickhead asshole?
I don't think he's an asshole.
I don't think so either. She's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I think they're both assholes. I think that maybe she... Well, okay. If you want to be a famous comedian, you can't do a couple open mics and you gotta like hustle your ass off. You have to be doing open mics like 5 days a week. You have to be putting yourself out there on the internet. You need to be taking advantage of all these things we can do.
Why can't you work a job and do that?
Yeah, you could literally work a 9 to 5 and still you would just be tired.
You'd be tired.
If it's your passion, like I work 2 jobs and we do the podcast. You work a full-time job and we do the podcast. Like we would love this to take off one day and be our sole income, but that's not realistic. You have to work really hard towards the things you want and you have to put a lot of effort into it, and it's exhausting, but it'll be worth it in the end, hopefully. I think he originally wanted to support her, but
it's becoming too much.
He probably feels taken advantage of at this point.
Yeah.
I understand where he's coming from, but she could still become a famous comedian. Just because she's 28 doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I think he kind of like blew off the handle a little bit. He could have said it a lot differently.
Yeah, I think he was resenting her at this point, and
he could have been like, "Hey, baby, I'm like struggling with these bills. Like, do you think you can get like a job?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm still here to support your comedy career, but I can't really I don't want to support both of us anymore."
Yeah.
Instead of being like, "You're a fucking loser."
Yeah, just had to communicate it. Yeah, he just needed to communicate better, and probably shouldn't have waited a whole year.
Yeah, I mean, that's just resentment building up slowly over time.
Definitely.
And resentment is real. That's a real thing. Do I have Ash Trevino shoulders right now?
No, you haven't.
Alexa, play Como la Flor.
Como la Flor and similar songs.
That's so funny. Alexa, stop.
Hey, Alexa, stop.
That is fucking hilarious. Sorry, I was looking at myself in the camera, and Ash Trevino, I don't shame people's bodies, but
She's like a shitty person.
yeah, and she's a terrible human.
Anyways.
Sorry, anyway, yeah, you're kind of all assholes. You're kind of all fucking dickhead assholes.
What are the comments saying?
The top comment is, everyone sucks here, mostly her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's very clearly not putting in her fair share of work and bills, and your frustration over having to handle most of the expensive while she pursues her comedy ventures is justified.
And also, like 3 times her income. She could have been working retail, making $30,000 a year, and he makes $90,000. $90,000 is not enough to pay all the bills and take care of 2 people.
No. Commenter continues saying, but you really lost the steam towards the end. Mm-hmm. While I realize you make some good points, that message got warped when you completely blew up and demanded her. And OP said, sigh. Sigh. I know I lost my cool and said some things I shouldn't have.
That's part of being in a relationship, though. I lose my cool all the time.
Oh, same. Another comment says, was there a discussion on how long you would be willing to foot the bill before she started working again, or was this left unanswered? And OP said, she told me she thought she would see significant progress in a year. I didn't agree to help with a year specifically. I think what has set me off is that is literally zero forward progress.
Guys, we just hit 100 Instagram followers, and I'm posting pretty consistently. And do you want to know how we got those 100 followers? Begging everyone I know to follow us. There's probably less than 10 people I don't know who follow us.
Love all of you. Thank you, Taryn, so much for begging everyone.
I'm trying to build up our social medias. But it's like next month Yapville will be 6 months old. And I think we're doing pretty good. We don't have many followers. Like, this shit takes years. Like, we could get a viral video tomorrow and it could help. But if not, it could take years for this to be a significant profiting podcast. This next one is coming from AITAH. It's from 11 days ago, and it's titled AITA for ignoring my wife for throwing away my late wife's videotapes. I'm writing this because I don't know what to do. I have a daughter with my late wife, and her name is Eleanor. Her birthday is coming up in 2 weeks, and she's turning 18. Background: me and my late wife, Chloe, have been dating since college. We got older and ended up getting married. And after our wedding, she shared the news to me that she was pregnant, and I was excited that we were expecting our first child. Since it was our first child, we bought a video camera and made little tapes and snippets of her whole pregnancy. Wholesome things such as us just joking around or having lunch or talking to our unborn child through the camera. We made a promise to not show Eleanor the tapes until her 18th birthday. Fast forward 2 years after her birth, Chloe passed away due to a drunk driver crashing into her car as she was coming home from her mother's house. I was devastated of her passing and went into a deep depression and having to raise our 2-year-old daughter by myself. My friends tried to get me to go out again and start back dating, but every time I did, I felt like I was betraying her. Years later, when Eleanor was 13, I met Wendy. We met at a gathering for my sister's birthday and we instantly hit it off. She didn't mind that I had a daughter because she had 2 kids herself and just went through a divorce 2 years after we got married. Now back to the present. Eleanor's 18th birthday is coming up, and I kept all the tapes for me to show her. Mind you, her mother died when she was just 2, so Eleanor doesn't remember her touch or her voice. I was excited to show her the tapes, and a week ago I was talking to Wendy about it, and I noticed her facial expression going from happy to looking a bit uncomfortable. Wendy would always get uncomfortable when I talk about my late wife. I don't say things like, why can't you be like Chloe, or Chloe was only supposed to be my first love. Wendy has always talked to me about Chloe and how it made her sad that she could never be like her. Chloe was a model then, started working on her fashion career, and don't get me wrong, she was a really beautiful woman. While Wendy had 2 kids in college and was not in the best shape in her words. I love both women just how they are, and I've never had a preference, but I feel like Wendy is gaining some jealousy towards Chloe. I told Wendy I love her just the way she is, and she broke down crying. The next day after the incident, she came up to me and apologized for the way she acted last night. I told her it was okay, and it's good that she felt comfortable to share her feelings, and I gave her a tight hug and kiss on the forehead. She asked me where the tapes were, and I went and showed her the box of videotapes of my late wife in the closet. Things were going just fine until yesterday morning. I was looking for the tapes because I wanted to put them in a prettier box for my daughter, and when I went to go find them, the box wasn't in my closet. I looked everywhere, to the point I walked downstairs to see my wife laying on the couch watching TV. I asked her about the box, and she told me she threw it away with a neutral expression. My heart dropped, and I asked her, what did she mean? And she told me that I talk about her too much and that I need to move on with my life, so she threw them away as a head start. I was fuming with anger, because not only she threw away what I had left of her, she threw away my daughter's big surprise. We quickly got into an argument and she noticed how angry I was, so she started apologizing. It got to the point I started crying and locked myself in the bedroom. It's the morning and I'm writing this in my office, going through my computer, finding old files or any type of video of my late wife to give my daughter, because sometimes my daughter still cries that she never got to meet her mother, and I really thought it would bring her closer to her. I've been ignoring my wife for the past day, and she's been texting me nonstop about how sorry she is, but I really just can't look at her right now. It's getting to the point our mutual friends are texting me to accept her apology and get over it since Chloe died over 10 years ago. And I'm trying to ignore them all because they've never had someone close to them die. I am working on finding these files and starting to think I was overreacting. I don't know what to do, and I really need help. Fuck Wendy.
Jesus Christ.
You know what's kind of funny? Well, it's not funny, but and it's totally off topic, sorry guys, but the mom on Ozark, her name's Wendy, and she's a total fucking bitch.
I hate Wendy. The only Wendy I like is The Shining.
I've actually never really seen that movie. Anyways,
That's crazy.
This
That's my
poor-
favorite movie. Sorry.
no, it's okay. I'll watch it for you. That'll be my homework this week. This poor dad and daughter.
Okay, my
I would call her eyes out.
my thing was she said, "Yeah, it's time for you to move on." And she realized he was mad, and that's when she was like, "Oh, sorry."
You don't move on from your significant other who died.
What do you mean she realized he was mad? What do you think he was gonna be like? Okay.
If you date somebody who had the love of their life die,
You need to know that's what you're
you need to respect
dealing with.
that. And honestly, you probably will never live up to them.
Yeah, I would hate to be that. I would never date someone who's like, the love of my life died.
I mean, I don't want to say that, but you need to like respect the late wife. And for her to not only dispose of those, but take it away from her stepdaughter that she's known since she was 13 and has been
Leave
in her
her.
life.
Leave her.
Insane. So the top comment is, "Dear Lord, I'm honestly not one to advocate for divorce, but I do not think I could continue a relationship with someone who did something so wildly disrespectful. That isn't jealousy, that's a mental disorder. She stole the only vestiges of your wife that your daughter will still have. This is not something you can come back from or she can apologize for. This is a line in the sand." Then somebody says, "I doubt she's even sorry. Just for herself that OP is ignoring her. It was all premeditated. Wendy needs a doctor and divorce papers."
Yeah, that's why. Definitely, she's not even sorry. She said sorry when she realized he was mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely needs.
Someone's saying she stole the memories from her husband and the daughter. That's so mean.
That's so sad. Just because you're jealous.
Where did you throw them away, Wendy? You
Like,
fucking cunt.
I'm also a very jealous person, but I don't think even I would do that. And I'm a very jealous bitch.
No, there's a difference between being jealous and destroying someone's property of...
Someone that they loved. Memories.
Here's another top comment. "Not the asshole. What the fuck? I'm a widow, and I'm going to be completely blunt here. I could not share my life with someone so heinous as to throw something so precious and irreplaceable. This is unforgivable. I'd pack my shit, call a lawyer, and only communicate through the lawyer. Anyone saying you're in the wrong can fuck right off."
Who's saying?
His friends are like, "Just get over it. Apologize."
Oh, that's right.
You
The
need new
friends.
friends, too.
Yeah.
You and your daughter got to go get better. There are better people out there who will
Yeah.
respect that you have a deceased loved one. What she's done is show an incredibly huge amount of disrespect to you, your daughter, and your marriage. She destroyed what would have been one of the most important, memorable moments in your daughter's life. This just goes way beyond throwing tapes away. What the fuck? There's no coming back from this.
Absolutely.
I want to
Perfectly
destroy
said.
something of Wendy's.
But what could you destroy that would be as precious as that?
Her jaw.
True.
Just kidding. Definitely would never destroy someone's jaw. I'm a
Her
pussy.
jaw's funny.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Like, everyone has sentimental shit. I'm sure she has something sentimental.
I don't know. People like that probably don't. Fucking psychopaths.
They're probably like, "Yeah, I don't need it. Whatever."
A lot of people say that like memories are in here, and like you don't need. But it's nice to still have that shit, you know.
That reminds me of Heretic when he says, "Every memory is just a memory of that past memory," and it freaks me out.
Every memory is just a memory.
What? So, like, say you went to the store this morning, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I went to the store this morning," and then 10 days later, you're like, "Oh yeah, I remember I went to the store," and then 20 days later, you're
Well, that's creepy. I don't like
I
that.
know, I don't like it either. So OP is responding to a couple comments. "Assuming this is real, can't she show where she threw them out? In a day, I assume there's no garbage truck or anything yet. Surely they're still around, and it's definitely possible she put them away to see how you'd react." Opie said, "A lot of people are saying to check the trash can. I had so much going on that didn't come across my mind. You are right. The trash truck doesn't come until Thursday, which gives me 2 days. I'll ask her when I get home. Thank you." Oh, I wonder if he found them. Now I want to do a little more digging. Okay, so we do have an update, which I did not realize we were going to have one of these.
Ooh, exciting.
So, small update. I didn't expect this to blow up. I came on here to look for general advice, and now I have thousands of people in my DMs. I'm going to be answering some questions that I'm getting that have been asked the most. I was thinking about asking Wendy about the tapes and where she threw them out, but I saw a comment that told me to not ask her because it might give her some time to hide it or lie. Instead, when I went back home, I checked the outside trash cans and the kitchen one and still couldn't find them. Trash day isn't until Thursday, so I was confused. I finally went up to ask her, and at first she wasn't going to tell me. I threatened divorce, like you guys said, and she gave in. It turns out she kept the videotapes in her car until trash day arrived because she knew I would look through the trash, so now I have the tapes, thank God. Another question asked was, did Eleanor know about the tapes? No, I didn't want to ruin the surprise until I knew that I had a backup. She didn't know about them now, and I'm not planning on telling her until her birthday. The only problem is that I'm afraid that Wendy might tell her. One more question people are asking is if I'm considering divorce. Wendy never did anything like this before, and I don't want to ruin a 6-year relationship, but at the same time, I really do think she needs some type of help. I'm considering asking her to go to therapy, and I'm really considering our relationship. Wendy is really good with my daughter, and my daughter loves her and her children. I think Wendy is just trying to take Chloe's place with being Eleanor's mother. I'm really starting to think that she has issues. A lot of people also said if I don't divorce her, I will betray my daughter. My daughter is my number one, and I think I should find someone better that can respect not only me, but my daughter and her mother. Well, that's awesome. He got his tapes back.
That's crazy that she kept them in the fucking car.
Yeah, psychopath.
That just goes even further.
Yeah, that is like premeditated.
I would believe her. Like, I know we joke around about like leave her, but like leave him.
This is like a serious.
This is crazy.
reason. This is insane.
If someone took like it's a little different, but because it's my dad. Like, who's gonna be jealous of for my fucking dad? But if someone was to take like my dad's shit and like, I would actually punch him in the face. I'm not kidding. I'm not a violent person. I'd punch him in the face and say, "Get the fuck out!" And I never want to see you again.
Yeah, if someone did that to your dad, I would also punch them in the face.
But I know it's not the same. I'm only saying my dad. 'Cause it's like the only person.
Because
Or like my grandmother's shit, or like someone I cared about. But no.
yeah, it's
Like,
it's
you
the
can't
same
do that.
thing. You can't do that. I'm so glad OP got the tapes back, and I'm sad that he's only considering divorce. I hope he gets divorced. All right, on to the next one.
Time for me. This one is coming from Best of Redditor Updates from 6 days ago. It was originally posted. Oh, it was originally posted in 2021, so not 6 days ago. It was posted in Relationship Advice. Girlfriend told me I'm gonna die in 72 hours. You will die in 7 days. 7 days. Trigger warning, obsessive behavior. I, 29 male, am with my girlfriend, 29 female, for 7 years. She's into a lot. Hold on. She's a lot into astrology, tarot card readings, crystals, mediums, and numerology. It's a big part of her life, and I always found it kind of cute that she would read her horoscope every morning and send me mine too. She didn't force me to get into it, and it was never been a problem in our relationship. I didn't try to impose my views on her regarding this either. We are both geologists and not exactly superstitious people who believe in hocus pocus. She thinks of this as a quirk of hers, as a part of her spirituality, and I've accepted it for what it is without mocking her. 3 months ago, she came up to me at my cubicle at my workplace in the middle of a busy afternoon and told me that my life is about to be cut short. I joked around and asked, "What? Am I going to die?" I was clearly humoring her, and she grew silent and said yes. I told her I had a lot of work to do and forgot about it. Every day for the past 3 months, she keeps telling me to be careful. Like, for example, drive safe and small instructions here and there. Frequent text messages, whether I have taken my insulin for my DM1,
Diabetes,
etc. Last night, I told her clearly, "Honey, it's got to stop. I'm getting annoyed, and it's no longer quirky or cute." She said quietly, "It will stop in 3 days. It's getting close. It's over." Okay, this bitch is a little kooky.
is she gonna murder him?
I think the cork has turned into kook.
Title.
I asked her, "What the fuck does that mean?" And she said she saw in her crystal ball that I had less than 72 hours and proceeded to cry. I consoled her the entire night that I am here and this is bullshit. It doesn't mean anything. It's crap sold to vulnerable people to trap them. She proceeded to point out some past predictions which came true. Like the time I accidentally forgot to take my insulin and she texted me that I had to take it, or the time I didn't get my engines checked and she told me to. Like, she told me to avoid certain colleague because they will catch a virus, and 2 weeks later they did. I told her those were all mere coincidences. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. She seemed inconsolable. This morning she told me that she wants me to take the next 3 days off of work, citing health reasons. I said, this is getting out of hand. And she said that she just needs me to stay home for 3 days. And then, sorry, this is reminding me of Final Destination. She told me she needs to stay home for 3 days. And then when the danger passes, and if I'm alive, I will never have to do this again. My girlfriend is a reasonable, smart woman, but I'm so confused by this behavior. It's irking me. I don't know what to do. Sure, I could take 3 days off of work, but I don't want to entertain this. I thought of this as a quirk of hers and it was never a problem between us. I just don't know what to do. I have tried reasoning with her. It's not like she's imprisoning me, but I don't know what to do and how to deal with this.
So this reminds me of a couple things.
It reminds me of Final Destination. I'm sorry, if someone was telling me I was gonna die in 3 days, I'd be fucking scared, would you?
I was gonna say, are you not about to listen to a woman's intuition? Like, she might seem kooky, but just entertain it and don't work for 3 days. I would be so scared.
I would not leave my, I'd be sitting there like a fucking emoji, like too scared to do anything.
Like, what'd you say, an emoji?
Yeah, you know the standing emoji?
So, actually, I have a story. I remember I was listening to a podcast when I worked at the post office, ironically, and it was like a Mothman podcast or episode or whatever. So there was this guy, and he was a mailman, and his route every day, he'd have to drive across this bridge. And for some reason, the morning before he left, his wife was like, don't go to work today, stay with me. And she never did that. And he did. And the moment he was supposed to be on that bridge, the bridge collapsed.
Crazy.
And I guess like somebody said that they saw Mothman before the bridge collapsed. A woman's intuition and astrology is truly real. I know I just said a religion is a cult at the beginning of this, but
Right.
there's scientific proof behind astrology.
Okay, but I don't know. I don't necessarily know if I believe that this man's gonna die in 3 days.
Oh, I don't. It's like a little
Crystal ball.
It's
girl.
a little kooky, but if she's crying and upset, I don't know. I would just take a little vacation.
There is some top comments. Commenter 1 said, honestly, it seems like she can benefit from speaking with a professional. She's gone pretty far down the rabbit hole, and I worry with how seriously she's taking these bad omens. So the second commenter said, if you were to die in 72 hours, there is absolutely nothing anyone can do to stop it. Might be morbid, but true. You could stay home only to die in your sleep or have a fatal accident. If you did only have 3 days left, what would you want to do? Try new food, speak to an old friend? I believe you still want to be here after 3 days. No one knows when someone else will die.
That's true. I would want to spend my last 3 days if I knew. Maybe committing tax fraud or something.
I wouldn't want to know.
Oh, I don't want to know either. I'm so scared of death.
Me too. So there is an update. February 5th, 3 days later, it must be his ghost. I'm just kidding. Because it says, holy hell, I'm alive. Still alive, folks. Thank you so much for checking up on me.
I want to know if he's still alive in 2025. Still alive in 2025.
Before I could repost to the comments 3 days earlier, this post was locked, so I couldn't get into it. I went to work and didn't feed into her paranoia at all. Girlfriend wasn't happy, but couldn't do much. She came too often to check on me. We worked together. We had made a deal that if this premonition of hers that doesn't happen, she'll stop sharing horoscopes with me and we'll put this stuff to bed because I was getting irked by it. Since it didn't happen, I'm very much alive. Girlfriend has no choice but to keep the deal. No more tarots and weekly predictions from me, I suppose. Edit number 2. Girlfriend does not have depression, OCD, schizophrenia, mania, dissociation, or any other mental illness. Girlfriend isn't on cannabis, methamphetamine. She thinks this is a habit of hers. Edit 3. Girlfriend is not a killer, psychopathic, sociopathic, or any other pathic that I have failed to respond on the previous comments. So one of the commenters said, bruh, I need some more details here. Did she even try to kill you? What did she say when you realized you were alive? I'm on my way back home. I will type in a while. Is the response.
Dies in an accident.
Literally. That's not funny. How did she act about her premonition being inaccurate? Did she accept she was wrong, or do you think she prevented your death? OP said, well, she'll still be doing tarot card readings for herself. She was happy that the crystal ball was wrong for once, of course. But our deal has been to put this aspect of our relationship to bed. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. The top comment on the actual Pets to Redditor post is, so anyone wonder if OP is still around? The account was suspended, so we're not going to find out if he's alive or his girlfriend's slow poisoning plan finally came to fruition.
Now I am curious if he's alive.
I know. I wonder if OP's alive. Well, it's funny because someone said, did she even try killing you? And he said, we'll update you. I'm driving home, but we haven't heard anything since.
And the original post you can't get onto.
The original post is locked. The account's suspended. So, OP, I hope you're still alive out there.
Me too. This is scary.
Also, crystal ball. How do you get one of those?
Probably Amazon.
Can we get an Amazon crystal ball? Okay, next story.
This next one is 12 days ago, coming from AITIH. It's titled, "My husband needs to touch my breast to fall asleep. I'm exhausted and need a divorce." AITIH.
Edwin tease.
Throw away because my main has some personal info, and pretty much what the title says, my 26 female husband, 30 male, have been together for 5 years, and he needs to touch my breast / boobs / whatever to fall asleep. Every single day, he goes to bed around 10:30 to 11 something and calls me over when I'm not even feeling sleepy, just so that he can touch my breast for his own sleep. From the very beginning of our relationship, he's had this habit. At first, I thought it was cute and kind of endearing sometimes and didn't mind it. But ever since we've been married, it has become suffocating.
Marriage changes everything.
It gets worse with how no matter what position I try to sleep in, he always reaches for me. If I turn away, he'll spoon me and still find a way. If I push his hand away or say I'm not in the mood to be touched, he either whines like I'm depriving him of something essential or gets genuinely upset. He claims it helps him relax and fall asleep, but I'm just an emotional support object at this point. I've tried compromising and suggesting that he hold my hand, cuddle a pillow, or even just rest his hands on my stomach instead. Nope, it has to be my breasts, or he just can't sleep. If I try to set boundaries, he makes me feel guilty, saying things like, "So you don't love me anymore?" or "This is a normal thing between partners." This has been wearing on me for years, but lately I've been dreading going to bed. I feel like my body isn't even mine in my own home. The main reason this makes me so mad is because this is the only form of affection I get from him. Forget cuddles or random kisses, he doesn't even give me a hug. A hug. The last time I got one was on my birthday, and that was a year ago. He only needs my boobs.
That's crazy.
I finally snapped after a long day when he reached for me, and I told him I can't live like this anymore. He got angry and accused me of being dramatic and said I was threatening our marriage over something so small. But to me, it's not small. It's a constant daily violation of my comfort. What makes this even worse for me is the fact that my husband does nothing to help me at home. He goes to work at 8 and I go at 5. He comes back by 5 p.m. and I come back by 7. From 7 p.m. to 12, I have to make up for all the chores at home, cooking, cleaning, laundry, etc., while he plays some games in his room. On weekends, he doesn't even help me. He refuses to do anything, so naturally I have to make up for being the bigger person, and when it's time for him to fall asleep, he calls me over to touch my breasts while I have to wait until he's asleep so I can go back to housework. He doesn't lift a finger. I know this sounds stupid and ridiculous. I probably sound like a whiny child venting, but I can't anymore. I called my sister, who I'm closest to, and told her everything. She said that I'm weird for divorcing over something like this. I called my best friend of a decade, and she said that she understands, but divorce is just overblown. I'm going crazy. I don't know if I'm being so ridiculous at this point. I don't even know how to bring this up to my own mom, mother-in-law, or anyone at all. I feel like an asshole for considering divorce over something like this. AITIH, will people even take me seriously?
But I feel like there's more than just the breast touching. Like, she's
That's
saying
what I
that
was
he's not
thinking.
doing anything.
Yeah, I don't think this is a divorce solely based on him needing to touch your boobs. He's not doing anything. He's using your body like a stuffed animal.
Right.
And he doesn't even give you a hug or show you any type of affection.
He hasn't hugged her in a year.
That's insane.
Yeah, I think a divorce needs to happen. I don't know necessarily if it's about just the touching the titties. Like, yeah, that would probably be annoying. Like, oh, you only want me to touch my titties. But
And
there's so much
her?
more to it.
Yeah, interrupting her doing chores, not helping her with anything, only just like that is some weird kink shit. I'm also confused the work schedule. He goes to work at 8, I go at 5. He comes back home by 5 and I come back by 7. Why is she working 5 a.m. to 7 p.m.? That's insane. So she works more hours than him significantly more. She's working 14-hour days.
And doing more around the house.
Yeah.
Typical men behavior. Sorry. I love all of you.
He sounds like a douchebag.
Definitely.
Okay, so somebody commented, fine, so he doesn't sleep then. Let him do housework. That will wear him out. She said, he doesn't do housework. If he had done it, then I wouldn't be complaining like this. He spends his free hours doing things he likes. If I stop doing the work, then I get yelled at and he becomes upset, which is the reason I do it. He expects me to cook, clean, and be there when he calls me. The commenter said, what happens if you don't go because you're busy with all the chores and God forbid having some time to yourself? OP said, when he calls me during chores, I have to leave them midway and wait until he falls asleep. Then I pray to the gods that he doesn't wake up and notice I'm gone while I return to cleaning, which is the last thing I do. I actually had one night out with my friends after marriage. It was kind of recent, and I think I got over 50 plus missed calls, and I was being spammed until I reached home. I'm not allowed to go on work trips for this very reason.
Okay, this is crazy.
Yeah, this is a little more than touching of the boobs.
Something's not right with this one.
Not allowed to do things. I think she's a free woman. Who is this man?
Just because he wants to touch her titties to fall asleep. Girl, grow the fuck up.
I think you should start drugging this man, honestly.
Yeah, poison him.
Maybe not poison, but put a little melatonin in his water. Or
I think you should poison him.
okay, well,
Let's skip leave him and just jump to poison him.
yeah. I don't know if there's any more updates. I want to know if OP got out of this.
When was this posted in? Am I the asshole?
Yes.
What? Girl, what?
Yeah, girl, you are not the asshole. And all we have to say is poison him.
Poison him. Slowly. My last story is coming from, you'll never guess, Best of Redditor Updates. The original post is from June 2024. Today I fucked up. My mother, 48 female, found my 22 female strap-on and now does not want to come to my graduation. So obviously, as you can guess, this one is not safe for work, and there is some trigger warnings for physical assault, mentions of mental abuse, and verbal abuse. My father warned me about my mom being extra furious. He left her alone for not a long time, so my father suggested it was maybe something my mother found in my room. She was in there when he left to do errands. I realized that I had put some of me and my boyfriend's sex toys in a drawer of my desk. I did not think that would be such a big thing. That's where I always stored my condoms and lube. These were at the front, and the spicier things were in a black bag. I thought they would not open them, considering they might have a clue what they could find. Yet here we are. My mother, less than 2 days ago, found my strap-on, its accessories, and some plugs. She told me she won't come to my graduation, and if I want to keep this lifestyle, I have to move out in a half a year. Girl. My mother was always the easygoing type, the cool mom, who was never restricting me in any way. I knew that sexuality is something she is more reserved in, but I did not think that me having sex toys would be this enormously tragic. Yeah, I thought it would be an embarrassing situation. She really blew up and she was throwing things, screaming, even with my dad. So my dad had to ask her what my mother had found. He was already fed up with my mother's anger, so he just looked down and shut the door gently. Typical dad response. So now I'm a stupid whore, and if I continue to live this lifestyle, I have to move out, and I'm not allowed to talk to her, and she is disgusted by me. For now, she won't come to my graduation, and she won't let my boyfriend sleep here. I don't know what to do. It's not like I can apologize for that, right? It's my sex life, or was I in the wrong? I'm confused.
Why is the mom choosing this to, like, almost end a relationship with her daughter over? Huh?
First of all, why are you snooping in your fucking daughter's drawers? Girl, we all know what goes in the drawers next to the bedside.
True, yeah.
And she put it in a bag too, so
She's
really
snooping.
Right, so at first it was just condoms and lube, but then there's a black bag in that drawer. What do you think is in that? Money? No, girl, it's gonna be sex toys. Ugh. And plus, what your daughter's doing behind closed doors should... Unless she's, like, hurting people.
I would, like, understand if a parent doesn't want their daughter having sex under their roof. Like, I think it's weird, but I, like, get that parents are like that. But is she mad? Like, what is she talking about the lifestyle? Like,
that lifestyle, quote unquote.
Like having A strap-on or having sex?
But I could think both.
It's fucking insane. Mom, Dad, you need to get mom laid so she can chill.
Something. So there is an edit. It says, "Thank you for your comments. Today's my graduation day. None of my parents are talking to me."
Not seeing your kid graduate high school
Over sex.
over having sex toys is fucking nuts.
My father is nonverbal but helps me when I ask. My mother is giving me the silent treatment.
Nonverbal like all the time or?
No, just nonverbal. But
Oh, okay, with her.
there is some extra details for some context. My mother's behavior. My first language is not English, so I could not paint an identical picture of her. By being a cool mom, I meant she is not strict. There was nothing else I could not get or could not do. I was not a misbehaving child, though. She often shows this kind of behavior. She has outbursts like this periodically. You could just feel her tension like a ticking bomb. That's when we warn each other with my dad. We try to walk on eggshells. In this state, she is not rational at all. You cannot talk to her calmly, not just me, even my dad. Most of the time, there is no real reason at all. Or if there is, it is often something little, which makes you think that's all. But as soon as she sees your puzzled face, she is shouting while claiming things that did not happen. When she is seeing red, it's like a monologue. The best thing a person can do is stay silent because she can pick out words and completely flip their meaning. When I was younger, she could get even madder if I cried.
Jesus.
Ugh.
Sounds like my mom.
Yeah, mom doesn't sound that great. We are not religious. None of my parents are familiar with Christianity that much. We live in Central Europe, and I'm planning to do my master's. During semesters, I live in a dormitory. Moving out will be something that's incredibly hard while going to university. It's not common to move out this soon around here. I have to think about my options, though. My mother's thoughts. My mother shouted at me how disgusting things I do with my boyfriend and maybe others. The emphasis was on boyfriend. She does not want to see him here ever again. He has slept here before, and I've been in relationships since I was 16, even long distance ones. So my past boyfriends were spending even a week here. It was never a problem. The toy's fate is my boyfriend will take them home to his home. Plot twist, his parents are really religious.
I'm almost wondering if the mom just doesn't like the boyfriend and wants a reason to.
Maybe. I don't know. So there's some of the comments. If I'm your mom, I'm finding sex toys, I'm shutting the drawer and never speaking of it ever again.
Seriously, that's what I was thinking.
You're 22, you're allowed to have sex toys.
Oh, she's 22?
Yes.
I don't know why I thought you said 17 in the beginning. Oh, that's kind of fucking crazy. I take back what I said about not having your daughter have sex under your... I thought she was graduating high school.
No.
Not like...
Yeah, I can see how you mean that. But guys, this is Best of Redditor updates. So there is an update from 8.5 months later, March 8th of 2025.
I'm about to have a baby.
More than a half a year has passed since my original post. As it could have been foreseen, my mother didn't show up at my graduation. I wish it would have ended there. Although she couldn't bring herself to show up, she kept spamming me with disgusting messages even a half hour before the start of the ceremony. For example, she snooped again and threatened me that she will send pictures of the toys to my boyfriend's family. I was so disappointed in her that I didn't lie to cover up the insanity. Funny thing is, the first person I told the real reason why she was absent was my grandmother, and she was cool with it. Every single family member was there besides my mother. You could feel the embarrassment and tension in the air, but I tried to calm everyone down with, "She is the one all alone, not me." It's so heartbreaking to see the pictures of this day. Traditionally, there's a dinner after the ceremony with a circle of family and friends. That was where the true awkwardness began. My roommate, bless her heart, did the best she could to keep a funny atmosphere, but my mother ruined the whole celebration with her drama. My mother sent me a message to throw out our items tonight or I should never step into the house again. So after the party, I had to get those and some clothes because I went to my boyfriend's place afterwards. My dad was in the middle of paying the bill in the restaurant, so I went to go collect my bag and my boyfriend and my roommate. When I stepped out of the car, I asked him to stay outside because I was afraid that my mother would actually hurt them.
Oh my god.
As I mentioned in my previous post, she is crazy when she's behaving like this. I quickly grabbed my things while my mother barked at me from the living room, and when I was almost out the door, I told her in the most calmest and the most honest tone I could that all I wished for was her to be there. And that's when I fucked up. I realized I left my keys in my bedroom, so I had to go back there. She followed me and attacked me. She started slapping and punching my face. I immediately felt cold. I was just empty. After some punches, I held her wrists down and asked her whether this was worth it. When I let go, she continued her rampage. She spit on me, told me numerous insults, like how I was even her daughter and I am a whore. And this is a slippery slope that one day I'll be fucking 5 guys at once and how I'm the biggest disappointment. And she was so disgusted by me. She doesn't want me to be in her life anymore.
Oh my god.
This is insane.
Also, this doesn't lead to fucking 5 guys at once, but even if she did, who cares?
Right. After a while, I felt dizzy. So I had this gut feeling, you have to leave. As soon as I escaped out the door, my father was on the other side. I couldn't even look at him. I just ran down the stairs. When I was outside, I was trembling, crying. I was in shock, while my boyfriend and roommate tried to console me. My father came out after a while and asked me what happened. I told him. He said that it would be better if we could actually just leave. I started crying during the whole ride. At my boyfriend's place, I could see that there was some bruises next to my eye. I felt so ashamed. After like 3 days, I went home and found out that my mother moved into my room. She started throwing everything I had into the living room, and I was basically living on the couch for at least a month. My father didn't talk to my mother at first. They were fighting via messages. But to tell you the truth, my father couldn't choose a side. He even told me to get rid of my things because he can no longer live and function in this mess. During that time, I tried to search for a job. I had my first interview, but sadly, I wasn't chosen. I wanted to become independent. My godmother asked if I wanted to move in with them. My father was begging me to stay.
What?
Right. On my birthday, I got my room back, and my father was hurt that I wasn't happy. I told him, how could the withdrawal of an undeserved punishment be a birthday gift? Why should I be grateful? Since then, my parents are back on track. They had a teenager-like phase again, with roses and cute gestures while I was trying to hide in my room. I feel like I was a forgotten character of a romantic drama. I was sure my father loves the whirlwind of relationships. He once told me, your mother is like hell when she is mad, but she loves you. She wholeheartedly loves.
You don't beat your kid that you love.
I spent most of my summer at my friends and some on prepaid vacation. Everyone is so nice to me. One of my friends even gave her apartment for me and my boyfriend for a couple of days so we could be together on our own. My father had to keep my mother in this newly found honeymoon phase, so he bought some tickets to Greece. He sat down one day when I went home and told me he only bought 2 tickets because we were not ready to vacation together. What did he mean? We are not on speaking terms with my mother at all. I wasn't mad I wasn't able to go. I was mad because I felt like she was given all these expensive and heartfelt gifts while all she did was beat me.
Literally.
And because of her drama, I didn't get my graduation gift, which was a trip to London. It felt like he spent all that money on her instead. I had to look after my dog while they were away. And when they arrived home, my mother was telling me all these stories about their time there. I always hated the out of the blue mood changes, but this was the point where we were talking again. I wasn't trusting her at all. I still wasn't coming home often, maybe once a month. They started to come to my dormitory often for no real reason. They bought me clothes, gifts that were uncalled for. It felt like they were trying to buy me back with materialistic things. Saying sorry would have worked way better. This new behavior made me so confused, like I wanted to stay away from them. That was something I even talked to my father about, yet they were trying to get closer and closer. Whenever I was home, I would try to talk to them like we used to. Not deep talks, but about what happened to me. I could feel that although they were so eager to give me unnecessary gifts, when it came to the emotional side, they weren't invested. One day, my mother changed her tone again and told me that despite her talking to me, that she hasn't forgiven me. And it is so annoying to mention my boyfriend, that she doesn't care about him, and that she wanted me to know that if I ended up with him, she wouldn't show up to my wedding ceremony either. They don't even ask how I am, so my parents and I are just really drifting apart. What is interesting though, I was a really spoiled princess kind of a child. I always had this conflict within me that I felt so incompetent that I had mental issues. I was afraid that this world was too hard for me to navigate and I was so behind my peers. I couldn't do any house chores because my mother wouldn't let me do them and she wouldn't teach me anything. But now I see her once a month. I am barely talking to her. I started washing my clothes at my dormitory, learned how to cook, and I take care of my responsibilities. I even went to the doctor for an ADHD appointment. A year ago, my mother dismissed the idea. Nowadays, I don't tell anything to them apart from I'm busy or very safe to tell stories so they feel like I give them some information about my life. I have a lot of great people around me. My friends are motivating me. My relationship is quite strong, and I'm grateful for my boyfriend that has helped me along the way. Summer wasn't easy for neither of us.
I think a lot of moms are like that, like more than we would realize. Because my mom is kind of like that.
Yeah, but if she had a sex toy, would she freak out like that, you think?
I don't think she would have freaked out over a sex toy, but she's freaked out over.
Smaller shit, stupid shit.
That sucks her. And it's so weird because she was like treated well her whole life. Her mom kind of did set her up for failure as an adult. She didn't teach her how to do laundry or cook or anything like that. But it sounds like, it sounds like OP's really upset, but it sounds like she's doing just fine on her own.
Yeah.
It sucks like mourning the loss of someone who isn't dead.
Yeah.
They just are insane.
Over a sex toy.
Yeah, this all started over a sex toy. That mom.
And it wasn't even like it's a weird sex toy. It'd be one thing if you found like a dildo that was shaped like a dog dick. I'd be like, you're a disgusting person. But like a strap-on girl, really?
It's fucking insane. It's so insane. Mom needs help. Like we always say, this person needs help. No, mom needs help. Okay, so this is our last story of the episode. It's coming from AITAH 21 hours ago. The title is, My boyfriend said I look so fuckable while I was dying from period pain. Am I the asshole for considering breaking up?
That's insane.
This is not
Wait.
safe for work.
So unfuckable?
No, so fuckable.
Okay.
And this one is not safe for work. I, 25 female, and my boyfriend, 30 male, have been dating for 2 years now. I have pretty bad cramps every now and then. They're not that often, but sometimes they are so bad I feel like I am legitimately dying. When these kinds of cramps arrive, I'm always in bed, nauseous, throwing up. I can't even move my legs because it hurts. I'm withering in pain. My boyfriend had been there when I experienced this type of cramp, like twice or thrice before when we started dating. But recently, like a week back, this pain resurfaced and he was there with me. I was very obviously dying and the pain makes me bawl my eyes out. My boyfriend just stayed beside me offering massages, but my body does not want any kind of touch as it hurt a lot. So I tell him no, but after some time, he just looks at my crying face and goes, "You look so fuckable right now." Coupled with, I read somewhere that sex is good during periods and I would try if you could. He said these things and continued to sit beside me just staring. At the time, I couldn't say anything, but I haven't stopped thinking about that day. I ended up asking him why he told me something like that while I was in pain, but he said it wasn't out of malice, but curiosity. He said I look very cute and breedable when I was crying, but I don't know. Is it normal to say something like that when someone is in pain?
No.
I was feeling upset for the whole week, but he doesn't find it to be a big deal. I impulsively told him I wanted to break up, but he thinks I'm being too sensitive and that couples usually do have guys fantasize sex during the girl's period. But I clearly told him that day that my body hates any physical touch since I feel so uncomfortable and pain all over, and him still choosing to say that made me upset. I have a very icky feeling that I cannot put into words. Would I be the asshole for breaking up over something like this, or am I being too sensitive?
You have an icky feeling because you gave a boundary and he's still pushing it.
If someone says I look breedable,
I wouldn't, yeah,
I
bye.
throw up on them.
You look so submissive and breedable when you're in pain.
That gives me chills. That's disgusting. You look breedable.
What, because she's in pain? Like whimpering? Like, you're not the asshole. Break up. Leave him, leave him, leave him, leave him, leave him.
So,
Red flag, red flag, red flag.
OP does respond to one of the comments. This sounds like he's been watching too much porn. You're allowed to break up with him for any reason, and this is a pretty good one. As for cramps, I used to have debilitating cramps. Have you tried this yet? Then gives neoproxen sodium, magnesium oxide every 4 hours while on your period for the first 1 to 2 days beforehand. It has worked wonders for me. In a pinch, I also try dill pickle juice. Just pour an inch or so into a glass and sip it. Within 15 minutes, your cramps should lessen significantly. Hope this helps. Hope said, thank you so much. I feel like pulling my stomach out when I get these heavy cramps. I usually am unable to eat or drink anything since I throw up a lot, but I'll try these next time. And that's literally the only comment she responds to.
It does sound like your boyfriend's watching too much porn. You look so submissive.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. The top comment is, when I tell you I physically cringed as I read what you typed, then it got worse. Someone said, cute and breedable while she's crying sent me over the edge.
Right.
Someone else said, trust your gut. The icky feeling you have is valid. If something about his behavior doesn't sit right with you, you don't need anyone's permission to leave. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can break up for any reason. They're right.
Leave him. It's a red flag. That
is
you
so
crying
creepy.
is like turning him on.
I would like want to beat him with a metal pole, and when he starts crying, say,
You look so breedable.
"You look so breedable right now and so fuckable."
Oh, bend over.
Okay, well that's our last story.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, cry more. It's turning me on. Scary, 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 scary. Leave him, leave him, leave him. I'm scared for you.
I feel like 2 years feels like a long time, but it's not. Like,
It's
get
really
out while
not.
you still can, girl. That's fucking disgusting. Anyways, yeah, so that's our last story. Thanks for listening to episode 23. We're like 2 weeks away from episode 25, which I believe is 6 months. Episode
Oh my God,
26.
6 months of yapping.
It's crazy. Well, guys, thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on wherever you get podcasts. And don't forget to tell a friend. Help spread the word.
Spread the word of the yap. Of what is the gospel? Spread the word of the gospel.
The Yaps Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. We love you.
Bye.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.
I forgot.
Bye.
Bye.